Yes, hi guys, greetings of the day. We'll be starting in just a minute. Uh, yeah, we'll just wait for a few people to join and then we'll be on our way. Let me share my screen though. And this is what we'll be talking about today, of course. Yeah, so we'll be talking about how to pass your December exams. I believe a lot of you would have gotten your results. Yeah, I will be a speaker for the day. I'll give you an introduction in just a bit. I can still see people joining. So in the meanwhile, feel free to blow up the chat. Yes, you guys can post where you're from, what your results were, maybe if you're comfortable with that, or what you're writing for December. Right. So we'll talk a bit about all of that. Yeah. So 2 minutes, guys, and then we will start. Right. Yes, I guess we can get started, guys. Yeah, we've been a couple of minutes in, right? So, yeah, welcome to today's session. Today we'll be talking about how to pass your December exams. And I know you guys just got your results a couple of days back, right? Some of you may be super happy, some of you may not be so happy, right? And some people probably confused. So hopefully I can help you with all that, right? We at Learnsignal have put together something, yeah, that could possibly help you clear your December exams. So let's have a look at that. And once again, before we get started, guys, feel free to blow up the chat with your results, what's happening, yeah, how is your ACCA journey going, where you're from, all of that. Yeah, please feel free. Now, a bit about me. My name is Arvind Suryadev. I'll be your speaker for the day. I did ACCA back in 2013. I've been teaching ACCA for the past 12 years. Yeah, now 13 years, actually. I started in 2012. So, yeah, a little more than 13 years. So, yeah, I think I would be qualified to help you guys with this. Let's see. Yeah. So, let's get into it. Now, first off, yeah, key result questions and simple techniques and simple tips and techniques. That's what we'll be talking about. How to use your examiner's reports effectively. Yeah, the golden rule of passing, and of course a small Q&A. Yeah, for you guys, right? Uh, to clear any questions you may have, absolutely, and also to give you guys an offer on something that we have right from our end, which will definitely help you clear your ACC exams in the future. Yeah. Now, let us talk about all these things, right? Starting with the results week questions. Yes, this is the usual emotions that the usual set of emotions that people go through during the results week. Yeah, so I failed my September exam. Where did I go wrong? Should I resit? I've been studying another subject. What should I do? Well, this is a real question that people can have. Yeah, absolutely. If you did fail your September exam, ah, my condolences first of all, but don't worry, a failure is a stepping stone to success. Yeah, so where did you go wrong? That, yes, you should be asking yourself. Was it the lack of preparation? Was it the lack of knowing concepts? Or maybe was it the lack of support? Yeah, so ask yourself that. Should you do the resit? Well, I always recommend my students do the resit as soon as possible, especially if they have prepared somewhat and they didn't get through because of maybe lack of application. In situations like that, it's always easier to remember something that you prepared for just a couple of months ago than keeping it for later. Yeah, but what if you've been studying another subject? Then what should you do? Well, if you've been studying another subject, the ideal way to approach this is to see your proficiency in both the subjects. Now, what marks did you get last September, or what marks did you get in the last exam that you failed? Were you off by a lot? That means, were you under 40 when you failed? Yeah. If you were under 40, I would say you need a lot more work before, yeah, you can write that paper. So maybe just focus on that paper if you want to immediately resit it. On the other hand, with the subject that you've been studying, if that has been going well and you feel, okay, I'm proficient with this subject but I failed last time subject, yeah, maybe then you could write them together. I'm not saying it's impossible to write two papers together. It's absolutely possible, guys, Back in the days, we used to write 3 papers and 2 papers together. But of course, it was the 6 month system, not the 3 month system that we have now. But I still know of students who do write 2 to 3 papers in one sitting. It's a bit of a challenge, absolutely. You roughly get about 1 month for each paper, if you're writing 3 papers, that is. If you're writing 2 papers, a month and a half and a bit more for each paper. Would require a lot of preparation. So it would depend on how you are personally, positioned, in the sense, do you have work to tend to, do you have family to tend to, or do you have other responsibilities to take care of? Depending on how much time you have and depending on how fast you can learn, different people have different speeds of learning, right? And I'm not saying one is good or one is bad, absolutely not. You just have to understand how well you can learn or how fast you can learn. This should ideally give you the answer to whether you should resit the exam that you failed last time immediately, or should you keep it for later and write another paper, so that, fresh breath of confidence. Why not? This, is what you should be pondering over. Keep that in mind. Now, if you did pass your September exam, first of all, congratulations, well done. Should you take 2 exams? Again, it depends on how much time you have and how much time you can dedicate to your learning, to your learning requirements, right? So taking 2 exams, absolutely recommended, only if you have the time. If you don't have the time, I wouldn't suggest that you take 2 exams. Take a single exam, especially if you're somebody who's gotten exemptions and you only have the P level papers to write, that is the strategic level papers to write. Well, you can write it over a year just by writing one paper every 3 months. That also works. I've seen students do that quite comfortably. But if you want to fast track the process and want to take 2 exams, or maybe just challenge yourself, why not? Absolutely possible. But remember, 2 exams means double the effort. You may want to be ready for that. Now, should you take 3 exams? Well, I know of risk seekers. Yes, I tend to believe I also have a risk seeking behavior. Sometimes, yes, taking risk does pay off. We know about that, at least from FM, risk versus rewards, right? But is it a valid risk? Is it, what do you call it, an unconditional or unreasonable level of risk? That you have to ponder over. Taking 3 exams is quite a hard task. You can always brag about it if you make through it, of course. But if you don't, that's going to be a hit on your confidence and a hit on your wallet. Because registering for 3 exams is not exactly the cheapest of affairs. Similarly, learning for 3 exams also, even if you don't pay with money per se, you pay with time. So do you want to do 3 exams? Questionable. Depends on your proficiency. How would you grade yourself? Are you somebody who's super smart? Are you somebody who can learn very fast? Do you already have the support requirements or support resources that you need to crack 3 papers in probably the smallest or shortest bit of time? You will roughly get about 15 days per paper or per subject if you're starting today and planning to write in December. Now, that's something to keep in mind too. What subject should I do next is another question that people who clear their exams generally have. So what subject should you do next? Well, if you did a paper like FM, and if you have an option to do something like AFM, if you already have a penchant for something like FM, most definitely, if you want to do AFM, which is an optional paper, you can go ahead and do it. Now, I took this example because both these papers, as you know, financial management, advanced financial management, they have topics that they share. Same thing for FR and SBR. Same thing for a bunch of other papers also, like PM and APM, AA and AAA. Now, of course, depending on what papers are available to you, you have to decide what papers you want to go through. Ultimately, you have to go through all the papers. There is no other way. That's just that, right? So if you had to choose a subject, again, it depends on your personal situation. Because for a lot of people, right, October and November are usually the holiday seasons. I myself may be traveling the first week of November, right? So if it is so, maybe not stress yourself with too many exams, or maybe not choose an exam that is going to be hard for you. Choose something that you are good at. So think about your own situation, do a strategic position analysis, something that we do in SBL, before you make a strategy, right? It talks about, well, where we stand, what is the environment like, what are our skills, what are our strengths. So understand all of that and then choose the right paper. For example, if you're really good at IFRS, maybe SBR could be a good challenge. If you love financial management and you already did FM, AFM, if you love performance management, be wary. APM is a little hard. It's one of the papers with the lowest pass percentages. It's a challenging paper. It's a lovely paper. Look into that. So you got to choose what you can confidently clear next time, so that you can build your confidence even further. Now, if the September exam was easy and you felt that, hey, I can do more, then maybe try something that is challenging. But again, personal situation matters the most. Now, if you didn't sit in September, well, okay, you don't have anything to worry about with the results then. That's a good start. Yeah. But I'm only starting now. What should I do? Well, okay. The good thing is that a lot of students, yeah, start after the results come. So you're not very late per se. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that, I would say. What subject should you do is a good question. Yeah. Again, if you have any knowledge, especially prerequisite knowledge, yeah, or if you got exemptions, yeah, you have to be very careful if you got exemptions, because in the strategic level, the questions, the way the questions are asked, the way you have to apply your knowledge is very different from what you would see in the knowledge level or the skill level. Yeah. Now, for most of you who may have written skill papers, you know what is expected in such papers. But for most of you who haven't seen professional level papers, I would advise that you go through a mock exam or a sample question paper. Get the idea of how these exams are, how hard they can be, how inquisitive or how deep they can go into your knowledge, and how you have to apply that knowledge. Yeah, this may give you an idea of what you're comfortable with as a strategic level paper. For the ones writing the strategy level, right? For the lot of you who are writing skill level papers, choose your poison. That's what I would say. What are you good at? Are you good at financial reporting? Do you think you can be good at financial management? Go with that. Yeah. At the end of the day, all the subjects have to be written. Yeah. If you're short on time, choose something that works easy for you. Choose something that you have an affinity towards. Yeah. If you have an affinity towards PM, go with PM. If you have an affinity towards FM, go with FM, right? If you have an affinity towards audit, which I've seen a lot of students do, go with audit. It's a great paper. It's what I call an entry level P level paper. Yeah, it kind of is like a strategic level paper. So it's beautiful like that. Now, another question here, I don't feel like I'm making progress. Other questions that students do ask. Yes, learning, but I don't know anything. Yeah, can happen. This is where you have to test yourself, guys. Yeah. Platform like Learnsignal will help you a lot in such cases, because we do have something called a boot camp where you can try questions right before the exams. There is homework practice, there are mock exams, and for the lot of you who do end up taking the elite subscription, you also get one-on-one teacher calls. Yeah, I'm one of those teachers too, right? Support teachers on your Learnsignal platform, where yes, we will be discussing what you know so far and what you don't know so far and what you may want to focus on. Yes, so things like that can definitely help. If you couldn't, or if you don't have access to such things, or you don't have any of that, well, you could always do a self-assessment also. Where do I stand? What do I need to get to? Yeah, close that gap. That's most important, right? Now, moving on from there, guys, simple and effective study tips. Yeah, always plan your study no matter what you're doing, right? A plan is important. Now, I'm not saying spend all of your time just planning. That happens to a lot of people. Don't do that. Plan your study. Make sure you have a detailed study plan and then stick to it. Now, it doesn't have to be 6 hours of study a day. It could be just half an hour or an hour and a half. Hour and a half is more than good enough if you can commit every day. Yeah. Study regularly. 60 to 90 minutes a day for 5 days is much better than one long day or two long nights before the exam. Keep this in mind. I know a lot of people like to prepare towards the end of the exam. Personally, I also did that back in the days. In retrospect, I would say if you could really channel your mind to do the work earlier, you're better off than a lot of people writing the exam. Yeah. So practice questions goes without saying, especially for your knowledge, sorry, not knowledge level, skill level and the professional level. If you're not at professional level, for sure, the strategic level. Yeah. If you're not practicing your questions, you're going in there with, well, pretty much a death wish. Yeah. So build your knowledge and practice relevant questions as you go. Very important. Complete a mock exam, at least one mock exam, to get a flavor of how the exam would be, to see if you're able to manage the time, all of that. Yeah, don't let the first time you attempt the exam be the day of your exam. Yeah, that's true. I remember back in the days, if you had any cultural program like a dance show or a music thing, we would do rehearsals. Yeah, for a music show or a dance show, we used to do that. Why are you not doing that for your exam? Right. Then listen to the examiner. Yeah. Vital information and guaranteed marks available if you take the advice on offer. How do you listen to the examiner? Do you call up the examiner? Absolutely not. You would have the examiner's report available on the ACCA website. Yeah, go through your study hub. The resources are available there. You can check out the technical articles, the student articles. The technical articles back in the days when we were studying, we used to follow the technical articles. We didn't have a study hub or any of that. That all came up much, much later. So it was more basic back in the days, and we did still have the technical articles. And I can tell you, technical articles were single-handedly the most helpful things, especially for exams like SBR, AFM. I think I learned futures and options derivatives through the examiners, sorry, not examiners, through the technical article. So technical articles can be super useful. Go check them out. Yeah, read them casually, right? Don't think of sitting down and studying. Read them on your phone, like how you watch reels. Yeah. So do something like that, right? Keep it simple, but most definitely go through these reports or go through whatever the examining team has put out. This can be quite helpful. Yeah. Then using an approved learning partner also actually increases your chances of clearing the exam. And this is because approved learning partners very well know what the syllabus is all about. Yeah. How the direction of questions, or how not questions, how the direction of your learning should be, so that you can answer particular questions and such. Yeah. So using an approved learning partner, always the right way to go. Yeah. Then moving on from there, let's talk about the examiner's reports. Why is this examiner's report so important? They would have put out the report now. While it's important to think like an examiner, you have to know what the examiner is asking you. Yeah, at the end of the day, that is key, right? See, it's great to know everything. Yeah, let's say you're somebody who's gone through all the textbooks, gone through all the questions you could get, revision kits, exam kits, yeah, whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, if you're not able to answer what the examiner is asking you for, you're going to have big trouble. Yeah. So the vital signs of this, or vital insights of this, can be learned from the examiner's report. Because if you go through an examiner's report regarding any question, even the age-old questions, yeah, you would understand what the examiner was looking out for and what most students gave as an answer. And this is where I want you to think about yourself once again. Hey, for this question, what would I have answered? Would my answer have been in line with the examiner's answer or what the examiner wanted? Right. So, how best to use the examiner's reports to ensure you pass? Yeah, put some best use into it. Of course, I would say this is the right way to use it. That is, try to pick up a old question paper, look at the examiner's report. The examiner's report will talk about what students gave as a common answer, what were the problems with those answers, all of that. So, try to understand the gaps there. Yeah, and try to compare it to the gaps that you have in your knowledge and in your maybe mock exam writing experience. So I would say write a mock exam or repeat previous exams just to see where you stand, and try to understand what the examiner is telling you through the report, and try to understand or try to compare that to what you understood about an exam. And then you would know, did I think so? Did I think just like the examiner? That's what you need to think. Yeah, or that's what you need to think about. Right. Now, moving on from there, guys, the golden rule to passing. And I can see, yes, Kelly Ree, you have posted a couple of questions. I'll be getting to that in just a second. Yeah, after our slides, right? But feel free to post more questions. Yeah, the Q&A is all about that, right? And yeah, stick till the end for that. Now, coming back to this golden rule to passing. Yes, see, to pass any exam, the three basic things that you need, I would say, would be one, technical understanding. You got to know what you got to know. Yeah, there is no other way. Because at the end of the day, any exam, not just ACCA exam, any exam is about questioning or trying to, yeah, figure out how much you know about something. So technical understanding is super important. Now, since we're talking about ACCA exams or more complex professional exams, the application to scenarios, how do you apply your knowledge to the scenario at hand? Super important. Now, where do you get all this from? Yeah, it's one thing to read all the technical stuff. Okay, I know all the IFRS standards, well and good. I know how to apply them to scenarios, but have I tried applying them to scenarios? Exam standard practice, not just your basic practice or not just doing smaller questions just to understand how things work, but pushing it further, pushing the limits further. Yeah. Finding bigger questions, finding 50 markers if you have a strategic level paper. Yeah. Planning things out, right? All of that, excuse me, this exam standard practice most definitely is, I would say, the deciding factor between students who pass and students who don't. Yeah. So technical understanding and understanding of the course content, this is covered in the lectures and notes that we have on our platform. Yeah. Application to scenarios also, we have something called a master class, which shows you how to bridge the gap between knowing something and being able to apply it. So we'll have videos on practicing the recent past paper questions, and we have all kinds of resources that would help you to do that. Then exam standard practice, like our boot camp. Yeah, boot camp perfects this, of course, right? We also have other homework questions, mocks that we have. So planning, layout, time management, you get to test out all of these aspects of writing an exam. Remember, guys, having the knowledge is a big part of the exam, but if you're not able to put that knowledge down on the paper with respect to what the examiner has asked, you're going to have problems. This could be the reason why I've seen a lot of students who get 48, 49, 47. Yeah, they're all in that range, right? A lot of people who fail in that range, 45 to 50 range. I feel, or this is what I've heard from my teachers also back in the days, it's mostly students who already have the technical knowledge but are finding it hard to apply it on paper. So then maybe practice is everything. Yeah. So watch out for that. Now, Moving on from there, everything you need to pass. This is what we promise. Yeah, at Learnsignal, this is what you get. Lectures covering 100% of the syllabus and notes on every topic. And yes, we are an approved learning partner of the gold standard. Now, we also have exam standard practice questions, tutor walkthroughs and solutions. Yeah, we have the revision boot camp, which opens 3 weeks before the exam. And we have mock exams that definitely help you prepare for the exam day. So all of those things that we talked about earlier, having proper resources or having proper support, that's where we come in. Yeah. Then 24/7 tutor support and regular webinars. Yeah, not like this webinar, other webinars also, right? And podcasts to keep you motivated and on track. Yes, this is what we offer. Yeah. So it is, I would say, yeah, a great set of resources. If you really want to pass your exam, or if you're finding it quite hard to clear the ACCA exam, this could be the way to go. Yeah. Now, moving on from that, our performance in 2025, we had a great performance this time. Yeah, stellar performance so far. 2025 is not over. December is also there. Yes, but so far, so great. Yeah. Learnsignal students have done so well in March and June exams that we have exceeded the global pass rate for 90% of the subjects. Yeah, it's 9 out of 10 subjects where we are leading, or our students are leading as compared to the whole set of students. Yeah, and exceeded 80% of ACCA's global pass rates in September 2025, which again is very good. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and this is what has been happening. So we do have a lot of positive reviews and everything. Right, I'll show you guys the testimonials in just a second. But generally, the problems that students face during their studies, lack of study material. Yeah, or the quality of study material if you have one. Right. So back in the days, I remember when I was preparing for audit. This was back in 2008. No, sorry, not 2008, 2011 or 12. Yeah, if I remember right, because I finished in 13. So something around that time when I was practicing for audit, yeah, audit and assurance. The study material that I used, the initial study text I had was from an approved learning partner, but for some reason I thought I will download some notes of the internet. Yeah, and I must say the notes did compress everything. It helped me learn quite fast, sure, but whatever I learned was absolutely useless. Yeah, thank God I didn't write the exam with that knowledge, because I would have definitely failed the exam. Yeah, so I didn't write the exam because of lack of confidence, and I repeated it later. Now, anyway, the point is that if you're excuse me, guys, if the study material quality is not good enough, that's going to be a bit of an issue. Yeah, so you got to have good videos, because different learners, yeah, different people learn through different methods. Some people like to watch and learn. Yeah, some people like to try and learn. Some people just like to listen to things or read things. That's it. Well, we have a bit for everybody, and a bit more that everybody should do, like practice questions. No matter what kind of learner you are, you still have to apply your knowledge. Try applying your knowledge through practice questions, so that you can get ready ultimately, because the examination is one big practice question if you think of it. Yeah. Then a scarcity of authentic study notes. Yes, the problem I faced in the years when I was doing ACCA back in the days. Yeah, lack of study notes, that's a real thing. I had to make my own study notes. I'm sure a lot of you do that. Yeah, follow textbooks or follow videos online and make your own notes, which is a great practice. But we also have a set of study notes that you can follow. Yeah, authentic study notes. So that kind of fixes that. Then a lack of revision. Yes, mandatory revision, guys. That's what we have. Yeah. So revision is very important. Most students tend to think that, hey, why repeat something that I've already learned? Well, I don't know. Maybe. Have you learned every aspect of it? Have you learned, or do you know how well you can store knowledge? Yeah. So all of that you understand by revising, by writing a mock exam, or by trying out questions, all that exam preparation. Yeah, this is something that students do lack. Yeah. And no expert tutor support. Well, yes, having a tutor on your side is definitely going to help you clear your exams quite easy. Yeah. And I'm talking about, right, when you have a doubt, reach out to a tutor. Your doubt is cleared. When you don't have an idea of what or how to approach something, reach out to your tutor. Your doubt is cleared. Yeah. Or you have direction, right? Then no connection with genuine students. That could be another problem. Yes, especially people learning on their own. Now, I was not subjected to this. I went to an institution for that. But if you did, or if you are learning on your own, which a lot of people are doing, that's great. Yeah, hats off to you guys, my respect on that front. But the problem that can creep up is like working from home all the time, no connection with people. Yeah, but to avoid all that, we have our social groups, right? And we have our student groups, so you can discuss, yes, with genuine students. Yeah, other people writing the exam, other people going through the same boat as you. Yeah, and a lack of one-to-one coaching. Now this is a real problem around the world, and I would say, see, not every student learns the same. If you've been taking classes also, I've seen a lot of classes, right? I've taught classes where there are 70 plus students. Yeah. Now the problem is that when there are 70 plus students in a class, there is very minimal attention that I can give to each individual person as a teacher. And not just that, when there are 70 students in a classroom, the chances of being distracted for the student also is much higher, right? So ultimately, excuse me guys, at the end of the day, ultimately it is coaching, that is important. Coaching, by coaching I mean getting to clear your doubts, knowing what you want to know or knowing what you're missing in your knowledge. So very specific doubts you may have, which may never go or which may never get answered because you're part of a bigger environment. So to avoid that, we do have one-to-one coaching classes. We have that as part of our subscription, right? Then moving on, we also, right, another problem that students have, which actually we have fixed, is no access to corrected homeworks and mocks. So you can write your homework, you can do all the homework you want, you can do all the mock exams you want, but if you're not reviewing it, or if you're not getting somebody else to review it, that's the best way to go. So as you can avoid a self-review problem. So if you are not reviewing it, then how do you know that you've done the right thing in your mock or you've done the right thing as far as your homework goes? This is where we help. We have corrected homeworks, we have corrected mocks, we give opinion on what's happening, right, or what you're getting wrong. So better learning. Then these are the packages that we have. Excuse me. The pricing plans for all your needs. Yes, you guys can check this out on our website also. There are 4 different plans that we have, 4 different packages. You can see the standard package, which has the guided study plans, video lectures, downloadable study notes, and you have the practice questions. Now, this is the most basic plan that you can get. A step higher would be the premium plan, where you have access to the much infamous boot camp, the much revered boot camp, what I was just talking about earlier. You do get tutor support, right? And you get WhatsApp group support also. You can talk to other students and discuss questions, discuss doubts. There will be tutors on the group. It's a fun place, Then the next step is, or the next step up from that kind of a subscription is your pro subscription. Amongst everything else that premium had, you also have access to webinars. We have almost a weekly webinar every now and then, right? Then you do have one-to-one study planning call, so that you can plan out your studies and you have a general sense of direction. And the person giving you that general sense of direction is usually an expert, right? Somebody who has worked with more than enough ACCA students to tell you what you're doing wrong. And you also get access to the corrected mock, which could be a big defining factor, especially if you're somebody who's suffering with practice. Then elite members, the ultimate subscription we have, has everything from before, has everything from the pro model or the pro level of subscription. You also get one-to-one weekly calls with tutors. I'm one of those tutors. Yes, we have a bunch of great tutors here, right, who will help you with your specific subject. Basically, in these calls, with my students, what do I discuss? Well, I discuss or first call will be all about understanding them and understanding what their ACCA journey has been like and why they're not getting through. And then with that knowledge, yes, usually our teachers would structure out an idea of what portions you should tackle immediately, what areas you should look into. Now, some of you may know the 80-20 rule and all that. 80% of the marks come from 20% of the topics, right? Which means those 20% of the topics are quite important. Now, I'm not saying be selective when you study. Of course, study everything. But having a one-to-one weekly tutor call and having the study planning call can be quite helpful. I've seen students, use that quite well. It may be something that could definitely help you. It is something that definitely helps you when it comes to writing the exam. Another great thing, another great thing that you get in the elite subscription is dedicated tutor support. So yes, a lot of my students also keep WhatsApping me all the time, right? So it's mostly questions, doubts that you guys may have, all of that cleared, in real time or as soon as possible. So that's always a great feature. And finally, the homework being corrected. That is one of our top features too. You will have corrected homework so that you can look through it and you can understand, hey, okay, this is what I did wrong. It's always, easier or more interesting when somebody else reviews our work and tells us that, hey, you did this wrong. Because when I review my own work, I may not be able to find a mistake there. I would think, this is all good. This is all good. Okay, I got this wrong. Slightly, if I tweak that answer, it will be fine. But when somebody else is looking at that, that's when they point out some other bigger mistakes, that we may have made without realizing it. So that's why a set of corrected homework answers could be useful, quite beneficial for your studies. Moving on from there, guys. Our students, yes, of course, work at all the big companies around the world. The big 4 for sure. EY, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC. There's BDO, JP Morgan Chase and Company. I think Goldman Sachs also, somebody I know, right? A student of ours. Accenture, Amazon, Facebook, Toyota, the Coca-Cola, right? These are a few brands, of course. Yeah, a lot more brands, a lot more companies. Our students, yes, after clearing ACCA, they've been what do you call it, flying high. Yeah. Now coming back to this, these are our testimonials. We are the one of the best. We're one of the best ACCA tuition providers out there. Yeah, and for me, it's a big what do you call it? It's a proud moment to be part of Learnsignal. Yeah, and you would know what I'm talking about once you join. All right. So you can check out the testimonials here. Yeah, there is somebody who said after several years of trying without luck, Learnsignal came through for me. And this is actually something that I hear quite often. Yeah, because a lot of our subscribers are students who've been trying for a while or who have had too many responsibilities to take care of studying on their own. And a lot of them come back after a big gap in their studies also. Like recently, I had a student who had a gap of 5 years. Yeah, and well, she made it through quite well. Yeah, and was because we approached it every week with systematic plans, very pragmatic approaches, right? And that helped, right? So somebody has talked about how the boot camp is great and lecturers take us through each question and they explain key things to look out for. Yeah, and they further show how to go about responding to questions, right? That was the first testimonial. Then the other one, yeah, another one that says study content is good and systematic. I would agree with that. Yes, if I were an ACCA student today, I think, yeah, Learnsignal would have been the right way to go. Yeah. So revision bootcamp and expert tutor guidance helps closer to the exam date. Absolutely. Only 3 weeks before the exam date would the bootcamp be opened. Yeah. So it's an opportunity for students to be prepared 3 weeks before the exam so that they can start trying out questions. And some of those questions are definitely exam grade questions, testing your capabilities. And we do have a small CBE model also where you can key in the answer on your computer itself. A little bit of real world exposure if you think of, because as you guys know, it's all CBE exams now. Yeah, a lot of my students are comfortable with this, but I also meet people every now and then who are not exactly comfortable with the CBE exam. Yeah, so practicing that or practicing the approach to the exam, the way the exam would be, it's a good way to go. Yeah. Then so yeah, that's what this review also talks about, guys. You can see it here. The platform for question practice is similar to the ACCA exam, which helps for simulation. Yeah, and then overall a good place to study at a cheaper cost compared to other learning providers. Absolutely, I would say not just the economical factor, but also the flexibility factor, right? I think that's a big part of it, because for a lot of students, especially students enrolling in offline classes or even in online classes, they're all timed classes. If you miss one class, that's it. Resources, yeah, getting recordings, all of this is quite hard. We at Learnsignal do it quite differently. It's not about just attending classes, guys. It's more about a one-to-one approach. Yeah, it's about using the material in the right way so that you guys need to know, yeah, what you need to know, right? You guys get to know what you need to know. Yeah. Now, the final yes review here. Yeah, it was interesting to use the one-on-one coaching program for AAA. Okay, so it improved the quality of my answer. Most definitely. See, with these one-on-one programs, what you get access to is something of huge value. Imagine, yes, having access to a university professor just to clear your doubts, or just to have a 1 hour conversation regarding, yeah, how things go, right, or how things are, what you're missing in your exam. Yeah. So I strongly recommend for research students the coaching program. Somebody has said, and this is from 14th April 2025, so quite recent. Yeah, these are the kind of testimonials that we do get, right? You can check out our other reviews also online. Yeah. Now, we do have an exclusive offer for everybody here. Yeah, for you guys who have been attending this, right? For the people in the seminar, yeah, in this webinar, we have a 40% off on your yearly subscription. Yeah, you can put down this code October Results 40. Yeah, and this offer is only for today, guys. This is as part of this webinar program. Yeah, so don't waste time. Yeah, then. Yes. Now I guess we can go into the Q&A. This is pretty much everything that I want to talk about. I wanted to introduce the product or the offer today. Yeah, that also, like, that was on the agenda. Now I can see some questions. First of all, yes, inevitable. I can see one of your questions also. Before that, let me talk about Kelly Ree's question. Yeah. How would you prepare for FM reset if you start now? I'm a full-time student. Kelly, yeah, practice, practice, practice. I would say if you can dedicate 2 hours a day, yeah, to studying. Since you're a full-time student, that shouldn't be a problem. Split the 2 hours over the day. Okay, like do 1 hour in the evening, 1 hour in the night, or 1 hour in the morning if you're a morning person, 1 hour in the afternoon. Put some gap in between these 2 hours. Now, the reason I say this is because first hour use it, yeah, for maybe reading things or maybe getting knowledge and all of that. Leave some time in between, ponder over it. Yeah, make sure that you're able to retain this knowledge even for half a day, right? And then practice your questions this way, right? Of course, there's going to be a tendency to look back at everything that you learned, for sure, but It'll also give you an insight into how you feel or what can happen if you don't know something when you're writing an answer. So practice like that. Practice is very important for FM, but at the same time, understanding the concepts also very important. So with most papers, what I tell students to do, is try to make a framework of the paper. Try to understand what all comes in the paper, what's the basic idea behind the paper. Once you know that, you know what all are the areas of importance, you know what all knowledge or what all areas of knowledge you need to cover, approach systematically onto that, right? So how do you motivate yourself throughout the exam preparation? Well, it's very hard to motivate yourself, yes, as with anything, not just exam preparation, but always remember, if something is worth it, it's not going to be easy. That's just so true, right? So anything in life, yes, if you really want it, you will have to put your foot down and you will have to work hard for it. I remember my ACCA days. It was not exactly the most comfortable of days. We had to practice a lot, write a lot, mock exams here, mock exams there, all in good. Well, gave me a good result at the end of the day, and that's what matters. So motivate yourself, yes, based on that. Don't reward yourself without doing anything, right? Reward yourself, maybe you take a day off after 4 days of learning, or if you completed a certain set of lessons, maybe have go watch a movie, or go out for a drink with your friends. Do something, whatever makes you happy, no problem. But do not reward yourself before you actually achieve something. That's basic psychological law. You have to only reward yourself after you achieve what you want to achieve. Keep that in mind. Which means if you wanted to study one chapter or do 5 questions today, do that and then go binge watch your favorite series, no problem. But achieve what you wanted to achieve or what you set out for the day. Make it into smaller goals. Break down your ultimate objective. Ultimate objective may be clearing ACCA with heavy marks or high flying marks. Sure, that's great, but break that down into simpler objectives that can be tackled in an easier fashion. Doing 2 questions a day could be easier than having to prepare for an exam in the last 2 days. Absolutely. Then, so Kelly, I hope that helps to motivate yourself. So always remember, things could have been worse, but hey, it's not. So keep that also in mind, right? Then, inevitable. Can you show me the slide 3 and 4 again? Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Let me see which one is slide 3 and 4. So you're talking about this simple and effective tips, inevitable. You can check that out, right? I have questions whether I should reset or keep continuing with new subjects. Oh, so you're talking about this slide then. Also, what are some tips to get a sure pass? Please feel free, inevitable, to look through these. And any of you watching the stream, please feel free, guys. These are the usual questions that crop up after results day. I failed, I passed, I didn't sit. Now what? Right. Yes, of course, these are the common questions that come up. But to answer those questions, you would need to consider where you stand. If you're a full-time student, Kelly, I'm looking at you, right? If you're a full-time student, right, you have the option to do multiple papers if you can motivate yourself, and if you think, yes, you have a penchant for a couple of papers. Whatever papers you have an affinity towards, get them off the table as soon as possible. Why? Because it will help you build your confidence towards other ACC exams. Now, anything that you find hard, put extra effort into it. That's what I did with audit back in the days. Audit was one paper that I found hard as a student, very hard. So the first time I had to write audit, I chickened out. I thought, hey, I don't know enough, and I didn't write the exam, which was good in retrospect. I would have failed that. So the next time I wrote, I passed, not an issue. But the next time I had to actually put in a lot of effort. I started studying earlier, you could say, which is not my usual style of studying. So there were things like that, changes that I made, that even, see, I'm not saying that is the right way to go or that's what you should do. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is, if you failed an exam or if you're not able to achieve what you want to achieve and you know you have the capability of achieving it, then maybe you're doing something wrong. Try to analyze that, try to fix that. If you need help, get help. That's what I'm saying, right? Then, inevitable, if you want to see the next slide also, I hope you're here, right? These are the tips that we already discussed. I'm just repeating the slide because of a request here. You guys can look at it. Of course, any questions, please feel free. So inevitable, one of your questions is whether you should resit or keep continuing with your new subject. Well, depends on what your new subject is, how much of it you have covered, how much you like it. So some people, because they like a subject, they start studying earlier on. I have some students like that. And if you're one of them, sure, why not? Write both the subjects, whatever you failed last time and the new subject that you were preparing for anyway. If you want some time off the paper that you failed because you want to take some rest of it or you want to get your mind off it, recommended to take a break off it, sure. But remember, when you come back after the break, you're probably going to forget everything. you will start with a fresh slate, which can be sometimes helpful if your knowledge from before was useless. But otherwise, yes, it's essentially repeating a whole paper again. You would be the best judge of that, depending on what paper it was. Yeah, how much you like that paper. Do you want to immediately get it out of your list? Yeah, is it affecting your confidence? Stuff like that. Yeah, I hope that helps. Right. And guys, please feel free. I can see, yes. And Kelly, yeah, most welcome. Most welcome. Yeah, I just saw you. Thank you there. Right. So, most welcome. And for the other people, of course, please feel free, guys. Please feel free to post any question you may have or any experience that you had with your ACC exam, something that you're not happy about, something that you're finding hard. Yeah. Or just general questions about ACCA. Please feel free. And I will put on the last slide once again. You guys can take a screenshot of this or go to our website today itself. And if you're signing up, yeah, please remember to use this coupon, right? Yes, it's a 40% off coupon. Yeah. I feel like those influencers who give you coupons. All right. So yeah, be quick though. This offer is for today only, jokes apart. Yeah. So reach out to our team, yeah, and they'll help you with the registration and all of that. Scan the QR if you want to save this, or take a screenshot, as mentioned earlier. The live will be available, of course, afterwards also. But this thing is only there for today. Yeah. So watch out for that. Right. Now, any further questions, guys? Q&A is still open. Yeah, I'm available. If you guys have questions, please feel free. Yeah. As with the seminar itself, what would be the final piece of advice that I can give you with your exams? How to pass your December exam? Well, it's December, so watch out. That's one advice I'll give you. I know how everyone's going to be excited about the holiday season. Yeah, but write your exams good, yeah, and you can celebrate even harder, right? What is that? Work hard, party harder. Yeah, you can do that for the Christmas. Yeah, that's one thing, right? And what is this, Abraham? Yes, you have a question. If I want to write in December, am I late to start preparing now? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say if you're late if you started preparing 2 weeks later. Yeah, I mean, even then, I wouldn't say late, but yeah, conventionally speaking, quite late. Why? Because exam registrations would close by then. That's one thing. And it's a month to study a paper. That means you'll have to put in a lot of effort. Yeah, no kidding. Right. On the other hand, if you're starting today, you can still start decently slow. By that, what do I mean? I mean, you don't have to like get anxious or throw textbooks on your head. No, nothing like that. You can start with smaller questions. You can start with recapping on any prerequisite knowledge, especially if you're writing a paper like SBR. Maybe you need some FR knowledge, FA knowledge. You can go through simpler things. You do have the time for that. I would say 40 days is what it takes, more or less, including revision. Yeah. Of course, it takes longer. The longer you have, the better. If it is 40 days, it would be more hours per day. Again, it depends on how fast you learn. Some people learn quite fast, right? So you may not need as much time. Some people learn quite slow. No problems there. It's about learning. Are you able to learn? That's the major thing. Yeah. So knowing yourself, setting up the time for that, that would be on you. But if you ask me personally, is it late to start for a December exam? Nah, not really. I would say it would be late if it was the end of the month. Yeah. I hope that answers that, Abraham. Right. And inevitable, another question from you. Yes, what is it? Could you tell me about the SBL pre-scene kit? Well, yes, absolutely. The pre-scene kit comes about 20 days before your exam, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 2 weeks or 20 days before your exam, you get the pre-scene material, right? Now, the pre-scene material, yeah, it is, so a lot of students mistake it for, well, essentially a key to the answer paper or the key to the question paper. No, it's nothing like that. Rather, it's just about setting the stage. Yeah. For example, if the SBL exam was a movie, yeah, and the set of the movie, the surroundings and the locale of the movie was set up. Yeah, the setup you wouldn't call the movie, right? You wouldn't know what happens in the movie just by looking at the setup. Yeah, same thing with the pre-scene. That's what I would say. A pre-scene is simply a setup for further questions in the examination. It sets the stage. Yeah, kind of decides what industry we'll be talking about, what company. Of course, you can get some valid pointers from the pre-scene material regarding what areas may be tested. Not recommended to do question spotting like that. Don't spend your time like that, right? You can read guidelines on this. Even we put out a guideline on the pre-scene material when it comes out. Yeah, so you can go through stuff like that, absolutely. But as such, I would say a pre-scene is simply an extension of the question paper in a way that you don't really know what questions would be asked. It's just the scenario itself. It's setting the scene. Yeah, so it sets the scene. The rest of the questions come up in the actual exam. If you guys know, earlier SBL used to be a 4 hours and 15-minute exam. Yeah, 1 hour extra, more than all the other papers. And I think it used to be what, 120 marks, something like that. Right. Anyway, they cut that out. They made it a 3 hour, 15-minute exam. So that's why we have the pre-seen material now. Now, back in the days when I was doing ACCA, we didn't have SBL. Instead, we had two papers. Yeah. There was a paper called P1 and P3. P1 was strategy in business. Yeah. And P3 was ethics and governance. Right. So these two papers combined together. Yeah. So this is essentially why, right, why SBL has become this monster sort of exam. It became a 4 hour exam first, then became a pre-scene based exam. But now I think it has a cool format. The pre-scene based exam is very nice. Yeah. Or at least I do enjoy it. I wish I could have written it. Yeah. Back in the days. Right. Then what else? What are the questions? I heard your LMS has AI inbuilt. Could you explain more? Yes, yes, our LMS does have inbuilt AI. Yeah. So we do have Harmony AI. That's what we call it. Right. Let me see if I can show you guys right now. So it helps you answer questions. Yeah. On your Learnsignal platform. Right. So once you log into your Learnsignal platform, yeah, you can easily try out different questions. Right. Or it's like talking to any other AI bot. Yeah. Chat GPT, all of them. But it's particularly tailored for this purpose in the sense that it already has the right knowledge from all your ACCA syllabus. Yeah, it has all the precedes uploaded to it. So if you were practicing a previous year question paper, you can most definitely use this AI. Something that you can't do with ChatGPT or Gemini or one of those AI clients. Yeah, so that's something right that we have. Let me see if I can show you actually. Right, and yeah, and feel free guys to keep asking me questions. I'm enjoying this. If you guys can see my screen, just resharing it. Yeah. So if you guys can see my ACCA dashboard on Learnsignal, now it'll be a little different because this is the tutor's dashboard, but you have the top part of it is more or less the same. This is the AI that we have, Harmony AI. Yeah. So Harmony AI helps you see, you can ask any kind of questions, like a simple question, what is WAC? Right. It will tell you. Now, this is not a question that other AI clients can't answer, but this would be more tailored to our exam. Yeah. Uh, what do you call it, exam purpose. Yeah, so this is more tailored to your learning purpose. Yeah, and I hope you can see my screen. Yes, the Harmony AI. Yeah, I'm trying to show you that inevitable. I hope you can see the Harmony AI. Yeah, I can see it on my right. Like I'm typing out a question right now. uh, how good is sorry, not good, how good is, yeah, or what are, yeah, the theories regarding WAC, yeah, weighted average cost of capital, a topic from AFM for anybody who doesn't know. Yeah. Uh, Theories regarding WAC, there are three theories. There is the M&M theory. Yeah, there you go. Without taxes came out in 1958. Yeah. 1963, we had the M&M with taxes. Then there is the traditional trade-off theory. Yeah, there is the pecking order theory. Right, there is the market timing theory. So yeah, so effectively, I was just reminded of all the theories that was there. So if you're doing some quick learning, yeah, the AI helps a lot, right? Even for people with a standard subscription, quite useful. For people with an elite subscription, also, if yeah, if you have some quick doubts, you don't want to like run by your tutor, you want to run by the AI first, you can try that. And with regards to pre-seed material, it's already uploaded on the AI, so you can try out last year's exam. Yeah, any exam that you want to try out from before, right? You can try that because the pre-seed material is already there, so you can ask it direct questions. Yeah, I don't think I can show you that here though, because I haven't tried it on mine. I tried it on a different version, right? I tried it for the SEMA one, but you guys can try that out on the ACCA one, right? Other than that, yeah, this is the AI system that we have. It's quite useful. Yeah. What is the trick for passing double A? Oh, okay. So, Hakuza, yes, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah. Now, what is the trick for passing? Yes, double A. I think I would be qualified to answer that because I chickened out once. Yeah, I was about to enter the exam hall and I decided, no, I'm not going to do it because I was not ready. Yeah, I felt like I was not ready at all. And the next time I had to get ready quite a bit. Yeah. So anyway, the trick for passing ACCA is understanding what you're doing with the audit. If you've seen any learning approved learning provider study notes or text or whatever, you would see how the contents are, and you would see that there is a natural flow there. It starts from understanding the different audit engagements. It starts from talking about different planning situations. Yeah, the risk assessment required initially. So there is a natural progression there. That natural progression you should understand. Basically, think of yourself in the auditor's shoe. If you were doing an audit, how would you do this? Now, of course, it's not as simple as just writing a narrative on what you would do. Yeah. It's also about understanding how you would do things for particular evidences that we need, like creating procedures to collect the right kind of evidence. Yeah. And internal controls, a test of controls, substantive procedures, these are all common terms that you'll keep seeing. Make sure you know what they are. Yeah, very important, very crucial. And effectively, that is your audit. And then, of course, a big part of audit would be reviewing and reporting. So most of the portions or the study syllabus would be laid out in that natural progression. Try to find that out. Try to think of yourself in an auditor's shoes, in auditor's shoes. Yeah. And then try to see how you would do the audit. That's the easiest way to learn procedures, because there are a lot of procedures. Yeah. But remember, when an examiner asks for substantive procedures, always try to look out for what assertion they're testing. Now, you guys may have heard of assertions. If you haven't, you have a lot to learn. Yeah. I hope you know what the assertions are regarding events and transactions. Yeah. Or balances, right? So different things have different assertions that we may need to test. A few off the top of my mind: completeness, cutoff, yeah, valuation, accuracy. So to test for different assertions, you have different substantive procedures. Try to understand that. Try to understand deficiencies in control systems. Yeah, most common questions. Try to understand audit risk and how certain situations can create more audit risk. Watch out for that. Yeah, this is what I would suggest. And yes, as with any other paper, a lot of exam practice. With audit and assurance, I would say extra exam practice, even though it is a theory paper. Yes, I agree. There aren't so many formulas to remember, there are no calculations to do, but you still got to kind of frame your answer in a very, what do you call it, diplomatic, yeah, formal, professional language. I'm not talking about using sophisticated words or having no grammar errors. Nah, nothing like that. Keeping it simple, keeping it concise, precise, and to the point. Yeah, and that's why I call it a baby level, yeah, a strategic level paper. Not a baby level, a pre-strategic level paper. I think that would be the right word. Yeah. So yes, I hope that helps, Kakusa. Yeah. And please feel free, guys. More questions. Yes. Most welcome. All right, you guys don't have any questions? Okay, let me sum up here. My tips, right, for the December exams. Now, as I was saying earlier, it's going to be December. Yeah, holiday seasons are coming. Everyone's going to be excited about that. Common problem around the world. But remember, if you write your exams well, you can celebrate harder. Yeah, celebrate happily, knowing that, hey, my job is done. Wait till Jan or wait till, yeah, Feb to get my results. Right. Now, that's great. Yeah. So I would recommend, yes, studying hard for your December exams, most definitely. But I would also recommend studying smarter. Now, by studying hard, I mean spending more time figuring out what you need. By studying smarter, I mean by using better resources or figuring out what the gap in your knowledge is. If you're especially somebody who has written an exam once and failed it, you know what's wrong. Yeah, you definitely should. If you don't know, investigate that first. Yeah, understand why, what happened. I thought I knew something. I thought I could write the exam. Where did I go wrong? Try to understand that. If you can understand that, it's easier to fix a problem that we know. Yeah, it's an easier to fix problem. A problem we don't know about is going to be always harder to fix. So I would say understanding where you stand, strategic position analysis with regard to your knowledge, with regard to how much time you have, or what other things you have to do other than your exam. So trying to balance all of that will help you decide on whether you want to resit a failed exam. Yeah, whether you want to venture into new exams, whether you want to write multiple exams together. Yeah, all of that, right? So yes, that is something that comes from the within. I can only give you more when I can only give you tips like this. Yeah, of course, but you will have to choose for yourself if you are fit enough to do well more than two papers or two papers together. Yeah. Now, any further questions, guys? Shahir, yes, please feel free. If you have a question, yeah, yeah. I can wait. Please take your time typing, not an issue. And guys, this would be an opportunity for the rest of you also. If you have any questions, please feel free to post it on the chat. Yeah. If you just want to discuss how your ACCA exam was, you can also put that down. How did you find your ACCA exam? If you want to share your marks, please feel free. What marks did you get? Yeah. What marks did you want to get? What was the budget? What was the actual, right? So please feel free to put all that on chat. Yeah. We'll be going on with the Q&A for the next 5 minutes, right? So I'm here. Yeah. Now is your time. And Shahir, yes, you have a question? Ah, Kelly, you got 51 on AA. Okay, not bad. Huh? So, all right. 51 is always a mark you should celebrate. Yeah, I think if you got 80, you shouldn't celebrate as much as getting 51. Trust me. Yeah. I know how it feels to get a 51, right? Close shave. Yeah. Congratulations. Right. You deserve that. Well done. Yeah. Don't do that for your other exams. Right. Just kidding. It's good. Yeah, 51 is definitely a good mark. For a professional exam, what matters the most is clearing it, because clearing it itself is going to be quite hard, let alone getting very high marks. Now, an 80 feels good, most definitely. But what feels better? Honestly, a 51 feels better because the risk of failing is definitely alive in that mark. Yeah, that's what I think. Right. So, congratulations once again. Yeah, kudos to that. And audit and assurance, definitely a hard paper. It's not a paper that makes it any easier. Yeah. So good work, good work, good work. And what are you planning to write this time, Kelly, if you don't mind sharing that? And please feel free, guys. Yeah, I am still waiting on questions from you guys. Shahir, yes. Okay, you have a question. And what is this? Which is the free resources could I study? Okay. And then use of them for the preparations that can help me to gain knowledge, skills, or concepts to appear in the real exam. So free resources that you can use. Well, okay. ACCA Study Hub. That's the number one thing that comes to my mind when you say free resources. And this is something recent, because back in the days when I was a student, we also had study resources on the ACCA website, but not so extensive. Yeah. Nowadays, I think there is a lot more stuff on the Study Hub. Yeah, there is like a CB practice platform. Sure, yes, to get the what do you call it, the most basic level of practice and the most crucial level of practice. I would say not just about it being basic; it's the minimum required level of practice. That's what I would say. To get that, yes, use the Study Hub. Study Hub works quite good. Yeah, I mean quite well. Yeah. Other than that, yes, you can rely on handed down textbooks and all. Yeah, not the most recommended approach, but hey, it's knowledge. If you want free resources, particularly, most definitely. Yeah. Yes, I would say, right, that's something that you should look into. Study resources, the Study Hub, that's the main thing. There are other websites. I don't want to take any names here, but for I just told you guys a story of how I had some notes, right, from actually quite a popular free website, free resources website back in the days when I was writing ACCA. The website is still around for anybody wondering. Yeah, I'm not taking any names, but some of you may have guessed it. It's a little, what do you call it? It's open to everybody. Yeah, right. But yeah, the notes were not sufficient. I can tell you that hands down, the notes were not sufficient, and I didn't write the audit and assurance exam that time. Yeah, back in the days, somewhat 10 years back, more than 10 years back, because of that reason. So I would say that still applies. So if you're using notes from free resources, take it with a pinch of salt. It's always better to have some kind of ACCA approved learning material on hand, some kind of ACCA learning approved learning partner on hand. Like if you're going to classes or if you're taking Learnsignal's platform, something would be better, yeah, than just going with free resources, right? That's one thing I would say, Shahir. And you have another question. What is that? Uh, what are the main skills needed for me in accounting and finance that is mostly related to ACCA? Oh, main skills. Okay, that's a open-ended question, I would say. But main skills would be, well, professional judgment for sure. Yeah, accounting and finance, a good knowledge of the required or respective accounting framework. For us, it's IFRS and the conceptual framework. People think it's very basic stuff, but it's very important stuff. Yeah. Knowing your ethical standards absolutely applies, right? And okay, I'll come back to that question. I see some other questions that I may have missed, some of the comments also. And Lisa, yeah, you got 68 for SBL. Wow, that's a great mark. Preparing for ATX now. Best of luck. Yeah, advanced taxation. I love taxation personally, but personally, I did not write ATX because I wrote AFM and APM. ATX is a great paper, especially if you have an affinity towards taxation. Yeah, so go ahead. Best of luck. Remember, always help your clients save taxes. All right. Then, Kelly, what are you talking about? I was planning to write FM this December. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, please go ahead, write FM. Try to understand the framework behind FM, like, what are the different areas. Try to understand what your knowledge levels are regarding these different areas. And then fill any gaps you see. Exam practice all the way, no question about it. Yeah. Then, Shahir, back to your question. What are the main skills needed? Again, Shahir, main skills needed in accounting and finance would be very open-ended a question. I would say the ethical, values, the principles, obviously, you'll have to hold that true. Other than that, you have to have good knowledge regarding your IFRS system or any financial reporting framework that you use and how these things work. Knowing the conceptual framework can take you, yes, well beyond your textbook. Yeah. So that's something good, right? Then, what else have you asked me? It's all related to accounting and finance professional skills as well as the ACCA exam preparation guidelines. Yes, more or less. I would say, yeah, your professional skills that the ACCA expects from you, yeah, most definitely are related to the skills that you need as somebody who's going to be proficient in accounting and finance. But other than that, also, yes, as you learn these things, you will see that there are certain competencies or skills that are required. Yeah. So it's very open-ended as a question. I can't list out the professional, the PERs, the professional requirements here, right? So I wouldn't say that, right? What I would say is, well, a more professional approach, professional judgment, a knowledge of what you're doing, a proficiency on how to apply it. Yeah, that would be most important, right? So then, inevitable. Yeah, Shahir, I hope I answered your question. Yeah, and inevitable. Another question from you. I heard on your YouTube channel all technical articles are converted to podcasts. Yes, 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 absolutely. Something that I didn't mention. Yeah, you guys can check out our YouTube channel, right, and other social media channels. We do have podcasts. I am not a part of the podcast. We have other cool people doing the podcast, right? And on these podcasts, yes, we do talk about the technical articles. So check them out. Yeah. Uh, that is, thank you, Inevitable, for pointing that out. Yeah. Inevitable, you should be doing this, not me. Right. But anyway, thank you all the same. Yeah. So, yes, guys, do check out our podcast and all the other fun stuff that we actually put out. We try to make learning more fun. Yeah, I know it's a hard task, but we try. Yeah. And it has actually worked. So, check us out. All right. Then, any other questions, guys? I hope I answered all your questions. Yeah. If you guys don't have any more questions, I guess we can, wrap it up here. All right. So yes, thank you guys for paying your attention to me for the one last hour. Right. I hope the advice I had to share and the advice we had to share here at Learnsignal will be quite helpful for you guys in your upcoming exam ventures. Now, if you need the great study partner to get you through this, an approved learning partner to get you through this, you know whom to reach out to. Once again, guys, the discount is only for today. Check it out. Yeah, go to our website, go look at the plans, right? Go look at how much it would be and think, yes, whether you need it, which you may or may not. Most people, yes, make a lot of out of it. They do get great marks. Yeah. And they do clear, I could say they face their biggest fears. Yes. After coming to learn singing. Yeah, we are not fear factor. No. Yeah. Basically what happens is that, students tend to approach exams a little differently, and they actually learn that, okay, there is a structure here. There is something you can do better. Yeah. So for that, I would say check out our website, check out what we have on offer. Yeah. And hey, welcome. I can see, yes, some thank you from the office. Right. So anyway, with that, on that note, guys, hopefully this was all helpful for you guys. Check out, yes, our website and our study resources. Best of luck for your upcoming exams. Godspeed. Yes, the study starts now. Yeah. The more you wait, the later you're going to get. Right. Not just to sign up for our program, but also for your ACCA exam. Yeah. So for both. So make sure you get into all of that. Yeah. And put on your study caps. because, well, Christmas is almost here, but before that, you have your ACCA exam. Yeah. So take care, guys. Thank you, and bye bye.